I'm Arnold. I'm a PLO5 coach, and today I want to stream. And what's the plan for today? First, I want to explain my HUD so that you can follow decisions better that I make. I often make decisions based on the stats of some player. Next thing we make is table selection. I will show you what table I want to play. I will only play 2 or 3 tables today because I'm streaming. Then I can have more time to talk about the hands. And I want also to play some mid-stakes tables, probably 1-2 or 2-4, 255, and some small tables like 10 cent, 20 cent, so that it's always the same game, but people have just very different stats, and therefore you have to play a lot differently. And then we are playing for probably 1.5 hours or so. And at the end, I want to make some hand analysis. And the hand analysis I want to make is by going to my my tracking software, which is DriveHut, and probably also looking a little bit into PLO Mastermind, into the 5-card solver. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So the first thing I have there a slide. This is my HUD, and these are my numbers. This was this is still my username on the site I want to play today. And in the first line here, we have, first line is here. We have my username, number of played hands with that name. I played 6,000 hands here with that username. Every month I change it. Then the first line is 31% of hands I'm playing, VPIP, which is probably a little bit lower, but because the heads up stats are also in there, which tilts the numbers toward upwards. Then 21% of hands I open raise, 8% of hands I 3-bet, and this is fold to 3-bet. 60% of hands I fold to a 3-bet. These are pretty reggy stats. This is something you should expect of a reg to have. And in the third line, I wrote 2 times first line, which is not true. Probably title line, first line, second line, third line. Then here at the second line are the unopened pre-flop raises per position. So I open 15% of hands in early position, 21 in middle position, 29 on the cutoff, 52 on the button, and 57 on the small blind. Again, the small blind is not correctly placed here because I played some heads up, and there you should open 90% of hands or something like that. But other than that, these are pretty regular stats. The solver says something like 17, 22, 30, 49 or something like that. So pretty much in the range, which are very good stats. And the last line I want to explain is this one. At the other 2 lines, I only I do not look often myself, but this is the last line I'm looking at. The first thing is how many hands do I c-bet in a single raise pot. I c-bet 45% of hands. Usually the solver says 50% of hands should be c-bet. And I have to say this is very much different from Hold'em, where you have to c-bet 80 to 90% of hands. And I c-bet less on the flop because people do not lead, which they should, with a lot of their hands. And so on some boards, I just have a range disadvantage, and I punish them not leading by not c-betting myself. Then fold to c-bet is 50%. It should be probably at 40%, so I'm folding a little bit too much against c-bets. But this is probably also okay, because people c-bet very straightforward. So when they have top 2 or a set, they almost always c-bet, and when they have absolutely nothing, they will shy away from c-betting. When in general, you should still check back some sets, even top sets on most boards, and you should still bet some hands which almost where there is almost no connection, almost no equity, to have later bluffs. And therefore, when people c-bet, the range is stronger than the range in the solver has. And these are my aggression frequencies in flop, turn, and river. And I think those aggression frequencies are standard. It's not too aggressive, it's not too passive. When somebody has an aggression frequency of 20, I know he's probably very nitty in that situation. When somebody has an aggression frequency of 40 or more, it means one of two things. Either he's very straightforward, he bets always when he has it, then he is very vulnerable to when I put in something. And it could also be that he's bluffing way too much. So one of those two things have to be true when they have something like 45 or 50, or some even have 60 here. And such people are probably also vulnerable to aggression. So when they have a number like 60 and you do not really know what to do with a hand that has reasonable equity, but probably does not want to see another card, just punish them by going over the top, because they fold way too much. And when they happen to call and happen to have a hand, yeah, then it's bad luck. But this is how you punish a higher number here. So this is my HUD. Now you know how I make decisions based on that. And now we can go to the next part, which is table selection and then playing. Let's table select. So I have to open the poker side I'm playing on. That's the poker side. So, oh, I haven't logged in. I will do that for a moment. So now I have logged in. And we have here players. I often look at this stat here, how many people are on the flop in average. When this stat is high, doesn't open. Why doesn't it open? Don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Why is there? Okay. Some tables are still running, but this table doesn't show anything. I don't know why. I cannot click on it. So probably I will go to 255 and we can play some heads up here. Probably it's not recommended to do that. I want to play other games, but I don't know why this isn't working. So probably a 1-2 game is... I would like to play also 1-2 game and check then 8-5-3. It's a good hand to check back. You do not want to get raised here with enough equity. Here it's a clear call. I don't think we should bluff it. Now we have 3-5, so we can check back. This hand looks like as we want to 3-bet it, even though it's triple suited, but it's reasonably well connected. Nah, it has a bad second suit, so probably should just call it. We have 2 backdoor flushers, we have a 6, so I think I'm probably going for the check raise. He wanted to do that. So now we have just ace king. And yeah, I think we should probably fold that. Probably too soon to fold, but let's fold it. He's probably too straightforward. And again, we only folding the absolute worst hands on the button and playing heads up. Three big blinds I would have always folded here. Still want to fold. Oh, on 1-2, one table was free. I often want to play small stack strategy on the higher limits. This is because you can realize your equity better here. So I happen to have a higher win rate when I play small stacks. You have to think, I play with a big stack. Always, so let's tilt the camera a little bit. A player with a big stack has to play against 2 ranges, against 2 players, 2 different stacks, against one with a big stack and one with a small stack, and he cannot choose an optimal strategy against both. But I can play against both like they have small stack. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, so this one is a clear call. I don't think it's a race with the 5-4-3. I could go over the top here, but I think it's better to just call it. Often on a flop, let's say there's 40 in the middle, and I have only 30 left, and the other twos have 90 left. then, and there's 30 in the middle, I have one SPR. I can broke much more than them. And when I have about 30% equity, I can get broke, but they often have to fold their 30% equity. And so I can realize my equity better when I play a smaller stack. Okay, this guy doesn't want to play heads up anymore. I hope the software works again and shows me actual open seats. Yeah, now it works. Now it works. So I have at 25.50. And the third table I want to play is at 10.20 cents, just because to play is probably some small stacks, but 25.50 is also okay. It's also somewhat smaller stake. And here I'm looking if the guys are playing very bad. If there is someone with a big stack who plays very bad, then I'm going up to 100 big blinds here. So probably I should also play a third table. There are only 25.50 tables left. Probably there's a 51, but usually it's better to play a table where bad people are playing. So this is a hand. It's a little bit too disconnected. It's usually, if it's double suited, it's one of the best hands, but because the suits are so bad, you can just fold it. Probably this is a mistake to fold this hand. The 10-9-7-6 combos are very nice to 3-bet if you have it double suited pure. Double suited pure means double suited, and the fifth card is from another color than the first four cards. So, and this looks like a perfect open raise from the cutoff. It's not that good of a hand because the connection is really bad, and that's nothing I want to see. But should I continue here is the question. Yeah, it's double suited, and I do not have an ace. Yes. And we did not connect this flop. This hand is also perfectly fine open if it's suited to the ace. Like that, it's again the 10-9-7-6 combo, but I do not want to open raise this here. Also for the last hand, I'm not totally sure if King, Queen, Queen, 9 deuce, double triple suited. It's an open raise. When you're only 40 big blinds deep. When you're 100 big blinds deep, it's clear open raise from the cutoff. You should be tighter when you play with less big blinds. So I wanted to play a third table, and there could be a third table. And then I have 3 tables and probably can always, these are kings I want to fold. Still, I want to fold them because they're disconnected, even though it's a table where I have 100 big blinds. So let's put this table here, this table there. I have more place. more space here. This is the second table. In the third table, I want to play, let's see, it's this one. So, and this is a perfectly fine 3-bet when somebody opens. And this is also one of the huge upsides, is that you do not really play out of position much when you 3-bet here. When you flop something, you just can put it in. Like here, I flop. Probably I flop even so much that I can slow play it, but I think it's good enough to just get it in. Okay. Oh, it's ours. That's nice. To run against kings is unfortunate, but I still had probably 45% equity, I think. Something like that. Probably a little bit less. So this is a perfectly fine defend. The perfect connection is very, very nice for my hand, even though I'm triple suited to the ace, which is a huge drawback. Then being only single suited to the ace. And here is a perfectly fine hand. 7-6-5-4. Yeah, we don't have to continue the low wrap here without a flush draw. It's not necessary. And I want to see his stats. At the moment, his stats are not shown because he looks like, and red is my my color for pretty aggressive players. And we see here a 3-bet. Okay, this is interesting. Do I want to 3-bet? He does not 3-bet, which is nice. He 3-bets a lot. Folding here. Again, a hand. Good. With a 6, I would have probably 3-bet it. This way, 4 perfect connected cards, double suited pure, is good enough to play, even if we're in the small blind. It folds, it flops reasonably well, often. So I have to go to YouTube. Probably somebody writes me. Probably I have one. Probably I have somebody who is joining me. And let's see if I have some viewer. I'm too slow here. Okay. He's 350 and I have a very bad hand. This is a good hand. Even though it's disconnected, double suited, suited to ace. King 6-6-5-5. We are in a cutoff because there are 2 people waiting. Therefore, I will open it, but usually such a hand is overplayed. 2 small pairs, 2 million small pairs are not really good, even if they are double suited. Oh, first aces we get here, but they are pretty shitty aces. With this hand, a lot of people make the mistake to raise. It's not a hand you want to raise with, even if they are double suited, and also with those aces, they are way too bad to raise with. It's perfectly fine aces hand to call, and I will go over the top probably. Let's see. Ace jack. I have ace jack here. Let's just call. Probably has something. Ace jack 9. Yeah, we have ace jack 9, so we can go for 3/4 spot. I think that's fine. If he goes over the top, I probably fold because I do not have any additional equity. Course, and here I think we do not have to bet again. With jacks I would bet. I think it's likely that he has a better hand that just checks, and the main hand he check calls with is ace jack, so I think that was a fine check back. Let's talk a little bit. Okay, should I cold call this hand? Ace 8 6 4 3. I don't think so. It's too disconnected on too low cards. And people are usually here. I only have 14 hands of him, but usually they squeeze too much. And so cold calling is not good as it is. In the solver. So, but let's talk a little bit about, let's go to the highest table and talk a little bit how the people are playing here. Ace King 10 8 5, but with the it's a hand again which I could open raise. Let's open raise it. Again, a hand you should not 3-bet. You could squeeze with that hand, though. I'm probably calling one time here. Problem is that kings are also sometimes so king 5 10. Yeah, I think it's a good check call. Here I can start betting, but I can also start just check calling. Here I go to value for one time, half pot bet. It's nothing I wanted to see. 8 5. Ace King 10 9 8. I can call it, but I can't 3-bet it. And this is a perfectly fine card to call again. So probably has King 9, yeah. It's King 9. He plays very straightforward. When he bots, he usually has it. But I had too much equity to fold here. 10 9 8. Ace King 10 9 8. I have two less. Continue here. 8 7 4 5 4. With that hand, I think I had two less. Okay, nice. Another squeeze. And I get a lot of money in the middle, which is nice. And yeah, that's good enough to get it in. When somebody has kings, which is not very unlikely, it's likely, but that's it. And but I don't think I'm so strong that I can go for the check here. Okay, here a small table with two nitty players. He's probably not that nitty. He's just, I just know how he plays. Let's put it like that. Yes, good stats, but he c-bets way too much. Then turn aggression, he's probably betting too much on the turn, but too less on the river. So on the river, you can just fold if he bets. On the turn, you can go often for the check raise. So I have two tables open. Ace, King, 10, 10, 6. Is it a... I'm thinking about if we had something like 70% fans that he open raises, I would probably go for the squeeze. And this way, we didn't flop anything. I should also train squeezing a little bit more again. I trained it in a PLO Mastermind solver a lot, because it's, in my opinion, a very important part of our games in that environment. When people are cold calling way too much, you should know when to go over the top. When a loose player opens to loose player call, what do you do? And you should three-bet way more than just your top 5% of hands. This is again a hand I like to three-bet. And this guy has 50% open raise on the button, doesn't fold anything to three bets, but let's see. Ace Jack 10, 6-5. I could go for the bet, I could go for the check. If I had a king or a queen, I would go all in now. Here, I would just call, and he will put me on aces. This is a very bad card for me, obviously. Not obviously, because I also get the not flush draw. Okay, now I have check 10, but because he's a nit, I will still fold against him. And he puts more, when he puts 1/3 into the middle, I would not fold. But when he puts something like 3/4, okay. Oh, he doesn't even go over the top with threes. The small set here. His queen 10, 10, 7. Again a hand. The solver does not like to three-bet it. The solver, in general, three-bets unpaired hands or aces, and not a lot of other hands. So again, why did I play this so cautiously with Ace Jack 10 here? I usually play it fast when I have at least some showdown value. But I don't want to get it in against a similar hand with showdown value, then I have not a lot of equity. So this could also be, it's a little bit weak too. Bad card. Otherwise I could easily bet here. But now I don't know a lot about this player. I have a perfect hand to bluff catch here, but usually players play too straightforward. They always bet when they have a 6 and bet not often enough if they have something else. And it's clear that probably I could also have went for the bluff raise, but I don't know the player and it could be suicide to try to get trips the fold. It's not unlikely it's even ace-6 and a lot of players don't fold that. But it could be a nice candidate to go for the raise. I have only 2 tables open now. Can try to find a third one. Let's just fold the hands. This would be probably an open if I'm on if everybody folds to me. But other than that, it's just a fold. Another 25-50. Something we could play. Yeah. So we have 2 25-50 and 1 1-2. So put it nicely in the middle, the biggest table. King, Queen, Jack, 9-6. Again a hand I think about calling. He's probably mainly not open racing, and the guys go over the top a lot, so I'm not calling here. King, Queen, Jack, 7-7. Looks better than it is, that hand. But you see, I play pretty tight, usually. I usually open race way more than only 2 out of 28 hands. But there are a lot of aggressive people before me, and so the question is not whether to open race, or fold. It's whether to 3-bet, cold call, or fold, and then you have stats like that, or at least let's say 2 times as much VPIP than preflop race. Again, this is apparently a table people do not want to play, so I also do not want to play it. And there's a guy who has some money. 1,400 big blinds. This is not bad. Let's see how he plays. I don't have any. Probably I should sit open and go there, because people with a lot of big blinds often play a very loose aggressive strategy, are often also very bad players. This is a with only this is a table with only check 10, 8, 6, usually very nice, but those 4 cards don't like I don't like those 4 cards. Four cards. That's Student S was terrible with that hand. Jack 8, 7, 6, 6. This is probably a hand I should not call. Yeah, that's from a small blind, so I can call it. And you can call more if the small blind is the one open raising. Now I have Jack 8, nothing with it, so I want to check call. When I build up a pot, it's not usually good for me. So is it a 3-bet? I think not. Okay, this guy is betting half pot. I go over the top. I could. Jack queen comes in. So when he pots here, I'm probably out there. But still probably has a small straight in course. And when he goes over the top, no, he has queen jack. And I could also have queen jack. I don't have to bet larger here with queen jack. So it's very risky if he does it with a bluff. So my color coding again is light blue is a little bit nitty, but raggish nitty, which is a perfectly good strategy. I'm probably also raggish nitty, but I find my aggression, so I will be sometimes more aggressive than other people. This is, for instance, a flop, and he will check always to me, and I will not bet a lot here. Okay, now I have ace 10. Should I go for the bet here? Yeah, half pot with ace 10. He could have another ace, and this is what he has, and that's nice. Some light value bet, like something like that. He opens to 340. Why? I don't know. Why he doesn't. But he looks like a very aggressive type of person. At least by open racing. A nice strategy when you play out of position is to limp. He open races everything. Probably you get some 2 calls, and you can go for the raise, and you can also go for the limp call. So it's not fishy to limp if you know you do not have fold equity. So you should even make a limping strategy on tables where you do not have fold equity. Either you want to put more money into the table than you open raise, or you do not want to put more money into the table, but still want to see a flop because it's a good multi-way hand. and you want to limp. Or you want to limp raise. So, yeah, when he goes over the top, it's awful, but he has only 40. So only 40. Back up to play. I was 2. Okay. I don't know if he is. So I'm very slow at the moment, so I have to here. I have to be careful. So this is also an overplayed hand. It's just jacks, so I will just fold it. Against somebody like him, this is a hand I can limp because I don't care if he goes over the top or not. I can limp call, and I could also limp raise. So these are the 2 possibilities. So no reason to bet here. Some reason to bet here. Because, yeah, nice. One of the cards stays. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Perfect rundowns like these you should play. Other rundowns, if you have on the button, you can play a little bit more, which is clear. But if it's a gappy rundown, you should not play the lowest ones. It's 1-2 table. So we have 1, probably 2. 2 bad players. I don't know him too well. And so should I play this hand? It's too disconnected and he's too crazy. So I'm tighter than the solver, so I'll probably open my hand. Oh, he's limping something. This is a type of hand I talk about. 2-gapped rundown. When it's too low, just fold it. Check 10, 5 deuce. This is a type of table you do not have to play. They are all rags. They all have their flaws, but I probably also have my flaws. You see that they too have mirrored aggression stats on different on different streets, which is interesting to see. This guy is pretty aggressive on the river. This guy is pretty aggressive with c-bets. And yeah, you can just can just make money then, but not a lot, so I should probably just leave the table alone. This hand is reasonably connected. I should probably fold, but this guy is probably not that good, even if he has a stack over 1000 big blind. Eight, 7, 5. I could bluff here, but usually I do not like to bluff against 3 other people. Could just go crazy. Should I go crazy? Let's go crazy once. Nice. One by going crazy. Here, want to seed out. Let's fold here and let's here. Oh, I wondered why I had nothing to do here. Oh, small connection. Interesting that he doesn't bet, but I don't bet here at all. Could be a slow play, and this is best card that can come. So should I bet here? Bet birds. Probably has slow played aces. No, he doesn't have them. This is one of the few times I think slow playing is the right move. Now there's a high chance that somebody has a draw, like a flush draw. But still I block a lot of outs, so 6-9. It's not even good to bet here anymore because he doesn't often have a hand like King 8, King 7 or so. And sometimes checks too. He has Queen Jack 10 and 6 deuce, yeah, a hand that he folds. If I had just kings up and without the 8 and the 7 blocker, I probably would bet half pot or so. This would be a premium hand again. That Jack 10, 8, 7 combo, Ace 9, 6, 4, 3. The connection is terrible. A lot of people overplay such hands, but there is not a lot going on for that hand. 10, 8. Here, the bottom straight should almost never be bet. This is almost always ace king, which is I would probably also fold king high straight if I do not have extra equity, like I said, or flush draw. So there is almost no action on this poker site. I will join similar, but there are two similar things going on. Let's play it just two tables. It's also okay when I'm streaming that I have more time again, so I can analyze a bad player. The first line here tells me he plays almost all hands, 83% of hands. He open raises 24% of hands, so, or 3-bets when he doesn't, he voluntarily puts in more money. Um, 24%, which is okay. He 3-bets a little bit too much. 4 to 3-bet is standard. Here he doesn't look too much on the position, whether he open raises or not. And he's too aggressive with c-betting, but he folds a little bit too much against c-bets, which is clear because when you play that many hands, you often have just garbage on the flop. And here he has standard aggression values on flop and turn, but he's not very aggressive on the river. Queen, queen, 6, 5, 3. Very nice hand to call. 8, 4. And yeah, there's nothing to be done here. He does not bet a lot on the flop, so it's probably an 8. And let's think about another guy here. He will be probably, how many hands do I have? 63. He's nitty. He's also, at the moment, I think he's a nitty raggish player. 10, 10, 9, 4, 4. Yeah, let's see a flop. They are not guys who 3-bet the most. It's an overplayed hand, but, and this is also a very bad flop when I flop a set, aces and kings. He has a lot of aces. He should have a lot of kings, but he plays every shitty hand. But because he has such a low flop aggressivity, I want to go for the bet fold. I wanted to go for the bet fold. That's what I said. Yeah. Minimum I lost here against aces. Check 10, 5, 4. Could I also check that here? Sure. But I would have probably got some value from this guy. This is probably also when he times out. Just to know when he's timing out, it's probably a very good hand. So it's something we can take away with here. And probably when you're just drawing, why I do not play with the whole stack. Usually, I do not really see how many big blinds he has. 36. You have some advantages not playing full stacked. That's about it. Trip aces are always open by the solver, but you should be a lot tighter with them. In a real play, because you do not want to play multi-way pots. Oh, Jack 9, 7, 6 deuce. And to do that, 7, 3. Probably going for the bet. He often has kings, so could get a bet out of him now. Not later. Same here. I can get a bet out of him now, not later. And he's not an aggressive player, so I do not have to care too much whether he goes over the top with a bluff. It's just bet fold always with non-nutty hands. Yeah, somebody else will win, but I think queen will call, so especially when there's so few money involved. So just fast play it. There are 10 cards, so it's not that unlikely that somebody has. So I do not want to get my whole stack in here. It's, I think, good opportunity. He's not very aggressive, so I think it's a good opportunity. But small. Okay. 10, 8, 7, a nice hand. Against a guy like him. Let's say he folds against a guy like him, I probably even go over the top. Okay. Not then, I think. Not against the guy who open raises the first time. But you could get the impression that I'm also way too tight, way too nitty. Okay. This is a hand I could probably even cold call here, because I would cold call it if it's Jack, Jack, 10, 9, 8. Or this hand instead. And a second reason why I should fold this hand is this guy can easily go all in, and then he goes again over the top. So, last time I streamed, there were always only 2 or 3 people at the stream, but afterwards I got 500 views. So probably nobody's here. Probably I'm talking for myself now. But when there are people afterwards looking at my stream, why not? And I'll get a little bit bored by playing only 2 tables. Put a third table if there is some action somewhere. And there is some action somewhere on a 25-50 table. There's some action. And this guy, yeah. Okay. He's open racing. He's c-betting too much. But it's probably also not a hand I want to. Yeah, go for a bet. That hand. I often get a fold here because he will be a guy who c-bets very linearly, too much and linearly. So he has all his nut flush draws, he will probably c-bet. And so his checking back range is very bad. 4 people, do not make the mistake to get broke here, because one guy has a queen, almost always. There are 20 cards around. Now there is a possibility that I win here, but still I'm playing it very cautiously and probably fold against any aggression. And when the jack of hearts comes, then I will go all in. But it doesn't. Ace, king, queen, 8-4. Yeah, I hope I win. Nice, but it's too weak to go for value against 3 people. Okay, ace, king, 10, 8-8. Do not have any. I don't know if I should go over the top or not. Let's just call it. It's not the perfect hand, and he happens to have a good hand and goes over the top again. It's also not a good multi-way hand, so hard to play such a hand. So what do I have here? King high flush draw, but nothing else. Okay, he's It's also a hand that is overplayed, just top and bottom pair. If somebody bets 16% of the time and bets pretty large, and somebody calls, should just fold. Way too many cards that are bad for me, and there is a high chance I'm behind now. So will not. Oh, yeah, he has probably the same hand as me. So, what should you take away here? That he's straightforward when he bets on the flop. Because I would probably not bet with ace-4, but I would probably bet with something like ace, queen, queen, jack, x. And he's just playing his hand strength. So a nitty color is good. Green is for me fishy color, mainly caller fish, mainly playing too many hands. He's probably not the typical caller fish, but he's playing way too many hands. And red is crazy or very aggressive, something like that. And if I want to know more, I go to the stats. When I see his stats, he plays every hand. So check. Jacks. Should I go for the small value? Yeah. Small value, or when I fold out something, an ace, and I don't know. It's okay. Seems 7-6-6-5-3 in the small blind. Too bad of a hand. Play. Ten, 9, 6, 6, 5. No. Too disconnected. When there are two gaps in the middle, 8 and 7, and a small pair even hurts the hand more than it helps the hand, it's not a hand you should play. Today I'm streaming from my home. The last time I streamed, I didn't have this nice overlay. But I want to see how long do I stream now? I think a little bit more than 1 hour. As said, at 1:30 I will stop, and then I will want to analyze the hands I played. 9, 8, 8, 5, 5. An overplayed hand in this position. What did I want to talk about streaming? This is a hand I want to play, but there's no reason to make the pot bigger. And I think I do not have enough equity to go for the bet and call a race. And whether to go for a bet or not, one of the most important things is to ask yourself, okay, here I can go for the bet. Why can I go for the bet? Somebody has probably 10. But I need some protection. I don't know. I think people are too. He will. He had a 10 probably. Against one player, I would play here just because they think, he either have a 10 or I have a bluff, but they do not expect me to have just a hand which needs some protection. And so they won't go over the top deliberately, and so I think a bet would make a lot of sense against straightforward players, but he's way too passive to be straightforward. With straightforward, I mean not only bluffing too less, I mean also betting too often when you have it. And he's more like the passive player, probably. Yeah, I'm running decently well today. And what I wanted to say before is today I'm streaming at my home, so some things like the light and probably camera and so on is probably not as good as this last time. Please let me know in the comments what you like me to do for my next stream. What do you think about my game in general, how I play, what I could do better at playing and explaining. Queen check 10, 7, 6. He said 6, 5 deuce. It's a pretty good hand if it's double suited. But the disconnected hands, and when they're single suited, should not be played. Especially if players are too. Here I will do something. I will leave the table and go there. So I don't have to. James H has, those two guys have, let's see. Here I have ace king 4 3 deuce. I could play that hand. For the 4 3 deuce connection is pretty bad. So, and this is the where I want to play. Why do I do that? Now I'm playing in position to the very loose guy. And I have way more post-loss decision when I'm in position. And those two guys are nitty. There was no rag yet where I think, okay, this is a very solid rag, but you can't expect a solid rag on 2550. And the solid rags have a yellow color for me. But usually on 1-2 there are often solid rags. When he's going over the top too often. It's also an overplayed hand. These double middling paired, not very connected hands are not the nicest hands. Could go over the top. I will go over the top because he has so much not a lot left. That's bad that he. Okay, nice, but probably not that nice because there is a non-zero chance he has kings and somebody has kings. Well, especially I'm worried about this guy. So when he goes over the top, yeah, well, I probably would Ace, Jack, 10, 4, 5. 3 guys. I'm not betting a lot here. Ace, King, Jack, Jack, 9. I'm 3-betting probably. And this is time to go home. They'll probably not played well by me. He has 9-3 or something like that. Ace, Jack, 10, 5, 5, 4. I could play it like I have aces. I played it like ace. And they believe me. Here, what was the action? Probably he open raised, I 3-bet, and yeah, I shouldn't probably not have bet pot here. Just yeah. I had a 9 blocker, but he opens way too much. I had 2 backdoor flush draws, but not enough 2 pair outs, I think, to get it in. Folds a lot on the river. Here I see this is the fold to c-bet, but it's not a c-bet now, but he folds a lot on the river, so I can go for the bet. You see, I'm here. There's flop, turn, and river aggression. This guy is not very aggressive, so I can bet more in the small blind. Ace king, which is decent. Okay. Go for the bet. When he goes for the raise, it's an easy fold. Can go for the bet again. When he raises, it's not an easy fold again anymore. Probably should go for the check here. Check call if he bets pot. That's a little bit too much, but I can go for the bluff. When let's see, if he calls here, I could go for the bluff if the jack or the deuce hits. I would have gone for the bluff. So queens, even though if the connection is good and it's double suited, I don't think it should be played. He's queen 10, 8, 6. This is a very nice hand. This is probably also a hand if somebody 3-bets way too much. You can easily go for the 4-bet. I don't know anything about this guy. Okay. I go for the bet here, but more likely for the bet fold than for bet call. Okay. I like bet folding a lot because people play their draws of often not aggressive enough. Could bluff here. And I can give up here. I can also bet pot here. I bet pot. Was a high probability that he has an overpair or a flush draw. I didn't block the flush draws too much. There's some probability that he has a 3, but I don't think he goes for the bluff catch with a hand like jacks. So they have 9 and 6%. They are not good queens, but I will call them against the bad player. The buy cards are terrible. Let's go for the bluff here. Nah, against 2 players, I don't want to bluff. Still don't want to bluff. Now I have 2 pair, which could be good. I do not have the right blockers. Pairs, nice. 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I have 10 jack, which I will only bet a little bit because he will call it a lot and he has straight often, but I have absolutely no showdown value, so I can fold out a non-straight, and I think he has not a straight more than 30% of the time. But a pot size bet would not have made any difference here. With Jack 10, I would just pot here against this guy. And back to the last hand. What did the guys have? He opens with something. But yeah, what can you expect? Let's go back. What the guys had. 9, 7, 6, 5, 3. This is not an open race. I doubt, mainly because he's okay. Ace, king, queen, jack. It's a good multi-way hand. Even if kings are mainly not good. But I hope that the other 2 guys call, and I hope to flop a set or flop a wrap or flop not flush draw. Not flush blocker. I have ace king with it, ace queen with it, so I think there is no big need to bluff, but I could be very wrong. he bets. Just, it's hard. Could be too nitty from me not to bet here with the nut flush blocker. King 10, 9, 6. Double suited pure, but not to the ace. Now I have king jack, which is nice. I will bet 1/3 pot, and he will probably call. One-third. Let's bet 1/3. Queen 10, jack 10, 9, 7. Yeah. I mean, he played it like the hand he has. Still, I think I can't fold here. And I could have lost a lot more when I bet with my king blocker. Still, I think I can't fold here, even though it's probably underbluffed when he only bets 1/3 pot. Because aces are so they have aces so often here. I would probably always bet when I have the nut flush, so there's no reason at all to go over the top with a bluff, because exploitatively I never. Okay, this looks like a raise. Ace king jack 7-5. Yeah, I raise this. This is a non-aces hand that should be raised. Ace king, queen a3. And let's go over the top. Queen 10, 9, 5, 4. Queen 9, queen 10. Did they have queen 9, 9 for deuce? 9 could be a future blocker, but it's nothing at the moment. Queen 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But... oh, did I have a straight here? Oh, I had a straight here. This was a mistake by me, but probably I would only have, probably I would fold it anyways. I think I'm streaming now for 1.5 hours. We can stop now and leave all tables next big blind. I'm pretty satisfied with my play, and it's also something, when do I stop playing? Most of the time when I make an obvious mistake, like here, I didn't see the straight, which is a huge mistake. And it's like I'm not concentrated enough anymore to have my A game, and then I stop streaming or stop playing. I'm not stop streaming now because I just want to make an analysis of the hands I played. Something I have seen is that I have my profile name should be changed. I can change it every month. I should change it every month because then the regs that are playing like me with tracking tool do not recognize my stats, so they can't exploit me. And probably there are things I know I'm not perfect at. Probably how to react against c-bets. I'm probably way too tight. I should probably bluff raise more. I should probably float more and so on. And good regs can exploit this then. Yeah, so now we make analysis. Analysis tool is DriveHut. So let's open DriveHut. Let's put it to the size up on the of the screen you can see. Probably put it like that. Put it like that. And I want to have not the stakes. I want to session. I want to go to sessions. I have to go there, and I have a session of. Is this the session today? No, this is an old. This is an old account of me. I got the power, which is more like a name, but also it could be I got the power. I got the power. This song, which is funny in German, I would say. So, but let's see here. Yeah, that's the session. We played for 1.5 hours. Is it the session 21st? Yeah, it's the session. And now we can probably see the hands we played. So that one. Oh, there we're all in with a pretty bad hand. Ah, yeah, but that was the thing against kings. There was nothing to see. Let's put it as small that you see it. What's going on? And yeah, I just 3-bet it. And then I went all in with my last 51 euros. And yeah, he had kings, and I was lucky that I got my straight. But nothing to see here. I closed DriveHut, which I didn't want to do. Now it has to open again. Here. And it doesn't open because of something. Now it opens. See a little bit of the opening window of DriveHut here. And it takes a long time to open. Can we do something different in the meantime? Now I have to put it again on the same size as before, because you should see what I'm doing in DriveHut. So like here, and this was the session, and I always click at net 1 3 times, then it sorts. Okay, they're not the last 100 hand, we want to see all hands, and 3 times, then we see, okay, first hand, second hand we have seen is where I got top 2 and the nut flush blocker. This was an interesting hand, and I think my opponent played it well, and I think I can't really fold it, even though it's very likely that he has the hand that he he says that he has. I had ace, king, king, queen, jack, single suited. One guy calls on the button. This was the fish who calls everything. And somebody goes over the top. I think I have, even though ace, king type of hands, ace, king, king type of hands often fold the single suited, I have perfect connection on the top. So I think it's a perfect multi-way hand. And I have several ways to flop well. So I call. Okay. And the flop is ace, queen, 5 monotone, and I have the nut flush blocker. The problem here is he often has aces. Aces will never fold, not with 1.4 SPR. And when he does not have aces, and a flush also never folds, 1.5 SPR. Second thing is, with ace queen, with top 2, I have showdown value, and I have also, I block a lot of the straight that can come. So my hand does not have a lot of vulnerability, so I don't have to bluff. Goes check, check, check. The 4, yeah, it makes a lot of 6, 7, 8 straights possible, which third player can have a lot. And at 10, I get the straight, and the first guy makes it 1/3 pot. I have to win it 20% of the time to break even, and even though I'm pretty sure that he has the hand he has, he could do that also with, the question is always, does he do it with a bluff? But it's a good play if he does that with a bluff, with something. I just call it, and he has the hand I thought he has. Small flush. And it's a perfectly fine 3-bet. Yeah. Okay. Then next hand. What did I have? Ace, king, jack, 10. I put a lot into the middle, check call. Okay, here is the question whether I should c-bet or not. I like c-betting with a hand like aces more, because then I get called by kings, queens, jacks. I have showdown value. He will always check to me. That's the third thing. So he has some 9s. Okay. Then the ace comes. I have ace 10 now. He bets half pot. No, he bets way less than half pot. So I should probably go over the top here. But I only called. And then a blank comes, and I go for the small value bet, because he often has an ace here. And I bet half pot, and he calls, and he has exactly the hand I targeted, which And I think the river is nicely played by me. I could be more aggressive on the flop. I could be more aggressive on the turn. The turn also looks a little bit like he wants to buy something. Probably also wants to more gets more value with the 9, so it's not that clear. And therefore I went for the pot control on the turn, so I think turn is okay. And river is really nice that I went for the small value bet against ace. So I think this is a hand I played better than the last one. Ace king 8-7-4 double suited. I'm only limped here. I open raised. Okay. Okay. This is this hand. I half potted. He called. I got the second flush here. I checked, and I was pretty sure when he almost pots it that this is mainly queen 10, but I have a lot of equity, and I could bluff. I could bluff. Spades is hard to bluff because I do not have spades, but it's easy to bluff a jack or a deuce, and I can value bet when I get the nut flush. And I got the value and just went for the value bet. And people usually fold too much. I do not have a lot of hands, so I don't know if he folds too much, but usually they do. But still, there is no reason not to go for the bet. It's just to know when I had, let's say, ace jack, same hand with ace jack 10 probably, I would go for that. I would go for the bet for the bluff to fold out queen 10. Yeah. Next hand. This one was interesting because a 3-bet. Is it the 3-bet against someone who opens 27% of hands? Yes, I would say so. Even though the gap between jack and 7 is pretty is higher, but it's a standard 3-bet. Cutoff versus button. Against early position, I'm not sure if I'm 3-betting it or calling it. And then there is cold call. And the nice or interesting thing is the raise here. And what should I do here? He would probably never just call with aces. So I go over the top. And I fear no hand but aces. And he has, even if he has kings or so, he has only 50% against me. And I go over the top and he goes all in, and let's see. This is probably not 100% true. Let's see what hands are there. He has the nut flush draw, but against me. You see, against me, I probably have more equity. This is something I want to check. What's the equity between those two hands? And I think it's 50-50. Because when it breaks out, his 3s are still good. And I want to check. What do I want to check? I want to poke odds calculator or PLO odds calculator, PLO5 odds calculator. There's one of Beasts of Poker, which is, I think, pretty good. and you can go there to 5-cut PLO, 5-cut Omaha. And I have ace king jack 7-5. Okay, where are the cards? I have ace king jack. So I have ace 5 in clubs. I have jack 7 in spades, and I have a king of hearts. And this guy has ace king of spades, queen, and 2 3s. Sure. Club and heart. And you see that I have 53-54% equity when you think I have 4.6, 4.7 more. Yeah, then it's 52. And even though he has a pair, I'm the favorite. And when he has another hand like king, king, queen, 3-3, which is a perfectly normal hand he has, I'm the favorite. 54%. And then there's the third thing that could happen is that he just folds. Then I get these €5. So I should always go with the top here. A good player probably recognized that this player is short, probably only calls aces to because he knows when he goes over the top, I'm almost always broking my hand. So, next hand. Yep. It's a little bit harder because there's no, there it is. Probably I can go. This, yeah, okay. This one was, Solver never plays like that, but he open raises early position and then goes over the top massively. I like to check fold here. I could also just, first thing is it's not necessary to call this hand pre-flop. It's Solver says it's a fold. It just plays well in position because I know either I have something or I do not have something. And multi-way, such hands are better than heads up. And I think he opens early position. He has, for a usual player, he has a lot of aces there, or kings. For this player, I'm not sure. When he open raises 50% of hands. Fortunately, we didn't see more hands against him. So next hand, yeah, that's unclear for me if it's an open raise, and I want to check it if it's an open raise. 100 big blinds deep, which I'm pretty much sure of, and I check it if it's an open raise. So 5-cut below. So this is the 5-cut solver of PLO Mastermind. And first thing is 100 big blinds, 1 big blind cap. It's probably a little bit more than 1 big blind cap. But here, king, king, queen, what was it? 7 deuce or so, 9 deuce. 9 is a little bit better than 7, so king, king, queen, 9 deuce. It's an open raise, but only if it's double suited. It was double suited. It's even not an open raise. 100 big blinds because I had it triple suited, but triple suited it's more or less doesn't matter whether. probably, because when you hide the 0% combos, wow, it's not triple suited, it's double triple suited, so double triple suited. Yeah, slightly minus EV. And but we can also check it 50 pp deep, and here it will be probably a mistake, a big mistake that I open raised this hand. Queen 9 use, and so hide 0% combos, and there are 0% of it that are played, and I have it double triple suited, and I lost 12, 0.12 big blinds. When the big blind, okay, let's say I open raise it, and the big blind goes over the top, the same hand is not there, which is clear, because it was not an open raise in the first place. But when I put in king, king, queen, 9, is there other folds? And there are folds, single suited. I have it double suited, and I have it double suited, and I have no ace. An ace is often not the best card. Call when, okay, an ace always calls, and no ace sometimes does not call, but often when to decide not to continue against a 3-bet, it's often the unsuited ace. If you have an unsuited ace, then you should fold, like ace, king, king, 9-8, for example, with king 8 suited. You should fold that, but you should open raise it. So, and yeah, only better hands are king, king, queen 9 deuce. You see those hands. It was a 50 big blind mistake to call those hands. It's interesting that it's even in there. But this is the hand I had, and it should be just folded. King, king, queen 9 use. The double suited pure hand should be called, and the double suited triple suited should be folded. So yeah, more it was not well played by me. So here is the question: should I just get it in, or should I? Because how did I play it? There was an open raise, a cold call by a tight player, which means he has a very defined range. Open raise by a more loose player. Okay, a 3-bet, and the SPR is 1.5, and the question is, should I go all in here? Should I bet very small, like 1/3 pot? But because I have the open ender, should I go for the check? But I probably go for the check mostly with kings, because and I think it's perfectly fine with 1.5 SPR that I just shove it. When I run against kings, I have still the open ender and the ace as an out. But I think it's a clearer all-in here when I had, let's say, 7-6-5, ace 7-6-5, only a gut shot. Then it's a clear all-in because I just want to fold out the king. I have enough equity to stack off. I have 2 backdoor flush draws, and I'm out of position, so I'm not inclined to make small bets. For instance, when I have the same hand on the button, I probably bet 1/3 pot here. But even then, it's probably bad to get calls from a hand like King Jack 10 9 8 or so, which otherwise folds when I pot here, or has at least a hard time continuing. Yeah. So I think this is the stream for today. Thank you for joining, and good evening.